This is Yusef, and I'm gonna compare the church to a car. um, so, if you have a car manual, and you've seen those, you can get them at auto parts stores, and you read it through, does that mean you've ever seen a car, or you've been in a car, or you've driven a car? You've had the experience of riding around in a car? Oh, it doesn't? But I read this manual that was put together. It's the same thing with the Protestants. These evangelicals, and I'm basically speaking about evangelicals. These independent churches that are quasi-Baptist, I guess. It's kind of hard to pin down what Baptists believe because I don't know. Because they're dispensationalists, right? But then I've met Baptists who believe in speaking in tongues and says, "Oh, my church preaches that," and it's weird. So the you go to these churches, these evangelical churches, and they'll have kids singing and dancing. They'll have like these dance performances for Jesus in the church. They'll have like a play or just weird crap. And they're what do they ever talk about? Do they preach the Trinity or the hypostatic union? I've actually spoken to people who claim to be Christian, and I say the hypostatic union, and they go, "What's that?" What? Or the Trinity, and they kind of squirm. Well, that's kind of a Catholic. Yeah, we believe that. What? It's like the most basic thing about Christianity. Or they reject the Nicene Creed. That's a great one. No, you're not part of the church. Well, yeah. And when you say the church, they immediately think, oh, well, that's any Christian. Okay, what criteria? Well, they have to be saved. Well, what? Can you identify the church? Oh, no, not really. Well, it's these people, but it's it's not even a loose confederation. It's just anybody, any independent person that believes in God. That's the church. It's not actually the historical church. They pick up a Bible or they, which if you want to just go to the church, the church, which I'm speaking about the Eastern Orthodox Church. Which is why I'd say it's better for all the Western Christians to go back to the Catholic Church, because at least that has, I mean, for all the add-ons, it's just I don't understand it. It's bizarre. They don't take the Eucharist every Sunday. And everybody claims, oh, we're like the first century church. Well, you talk to there's this place, the Jesus people, that's downtown in the city, like a commune. We're like the first century church. No, you're not at all, not in any way, shape, or form. it's hard to this is a bad video, but because it's hard to express this. Like, it's almost like the video I did on Nation of Islam. It's like that. The people picking up the Quran, someone picking up the Quran and forming Nation of Islam, which has nothing to do with anything about Islam. That's my view on 90% of the Christians in America. They're not, that's why people say, oh yeah, there's 2 billion Christians in the world. Yeah, heretics, but yeah, okay, they're Christian, but they're heretics. That's fine. Well, that's not fine, actually. If there's any evangelical out there, what the hell are you doing? Actually, I'll title this a question to the evangelicals. What in God's name are you doing? You pick up a Bible that we compiled, edited, and wrote. We wrote, edited, and compiled it, which is a part of the tradition. And then I can pick this up and read it and be part of the Bible actually, I think they think, I mean, this is where you get the Joyce Meyers, the T.D. Jakes. I mean, I should do this. This is a question for any Benny Hinn fans, T.D. Jakes, Joyce Meyer, or anybody outside of the Eastern Orthodox Church, except Catholics, because you have some basis in reality. I don't know about the Lutherans. Maybe some forms of Lutheranism might be at least sensible. But you go into a church, you walk into a building, an auditorium, with seats, with no icons or anything, with no Christian symbols at all. There's no sanctuary, there's nothing holy about anything. And it's just like the world. If you chapters 1, 2, and 3 of 1 Corinthians, I think it is, this tells not to be like the world. When you walk into an Orthodox church, it's as if you step outside of the world. The smell, the chanting, the tones, the things that you see, it's like you step out. That's what first attracted me to Eastern Orthodox. It's like I stepped out of the world. It was like a decompression chamber. Things you do are not as the world does them. It's separate and apart. It's almost like a vacation from the world. Actually, it is, if it's a good parish. But these churches plays this music. They have like guitars and there'll be people like swaying, like jamming out to Jesus, and some dude in like a Buddy Holly glasses with like a flannel shirt and skinny jeans, like some dude like Rob Bell talking and being like, oh yeah, I'm hip, and being exactly very worldly. You're just like the world. It doesn't look. There's nothing in attitude and action. You're just like the world. Well, we're just like the world, except we have faith in Jesus. Fantastic. And you pick up the Bible, which I wouldn't want to use a real Bible for this, so I'll use the Quran. You pick it up, and I'm going to use this in any way I want. And then this is dull. And you come to the end of your rope after trying to do it all yourself, praying, and oh, Jesus. And I've heard them praying like they're having orgasms, these people. And then you go to this. You become a Muslim basically, and you learn about the Sunnah and the Hadith, and you get, oh yeah, well, why didn't you do that with Christianity? What's wrong with you? Like, you wouldn't. Okay, this is what okay, so this book that I'm going to put my faith in, or this, because that's what it is. It's idol worship. It's idolatry. You worship the Bible. I'm going to go, and if anything goes against this, then it's wrong. So the church and the Holy Spirit that compiled that, there you cut them out of the picture, and then you pick up that as an idol. You said, this is where I go to get the church and the Holy Spirit. What? Just go to why not go to the church, walk in and ask them what they believe. Or watch a few of Archbishop Lazar's videos to sense what the church is like, because there's no evangelical wiser than Archbishop Lazar. I can tell you that right now. This is going to be a question for evangelicals, for any evangelical, and I hope they see this, because I'll just title it a question for evangelicals. What in God's name are you doing? Do you worship the Bible? So you don't have any context, you don't know why those are there, or sola scriptura. John Calvin was probably the most Calvinism. Yeah, you know anything about the guy that created that? I mean, we could say repulsive things about Muhammad and how he, what he did and stuff. The guy gave us the Quran. John Calvin, murderer, burnt his best friend alive, just wicked butcher. Oh, yeah, out of this hatred and carnage, but the theology is right. It just lacks love, right? But it conforms to this, and we can make all of this line up. Well, it doesn't all line up. That's not the point. And then that you believe in creationism and all this other weird. Okay, evangelicals, why are you doing this? Why would you act like that? Why would you why are you even a Christian? Okay, you love Jesus, like a atheist could, just to go this and that, or a Unitarian, or somebody from any other sect, but you don't know the church, you haven't experienced it, and you make an idol out of the Bible, and you act just like the world. Christians take the Eucharist every Sunday. That's an ancient practice supported by every Christian writing, from the earliest, which are the Gospels, till even I think even Calvin supported that, actually. And then you just say, in response, oh, well, that's all Roman Catholic. The Roman Catholics. And I've heard responses like this on my old channel. Well, the Roman Catholics in the year 100, when Constantine converted to Christianity, they took it over and put in purgatory and the worship of Mary because it was Isis. And it's like, my head hurts, because are you piecing together your history from the backs of sugar packets? I don't know. Why in God's name do you believe what you believe? Peace to you, may God save Serbia. Have blessed Lent. Oh yeah, Lenten calendar, you don't know that, because you have to act like the world, right? The world is the modern day. You got to be hip and whatever. So just a question. I don't understand you guys at all. What in God's name are you doing? And please stop doing it. And if you actually believe in Christ, in the deity of Christ and Trinity, just come home. It's like all your stresses, all your pent up stuff. No, just we gotta watch and eat. Peace to you. Baptists believe because I don't know, because they're dispensationalists, right? But then I've met Baptists who believe in speaking in tongues and says, "Oh, my church preaches that," and it's weird. So you go to these churches, these evangelical churches, and they'll have kids singing and dancing. They'll have like these dance performances for Jesus in the church. They'll have like a play or just weird crap. And what do they ever talk about? Do they preach the Trinity or the hypostatic union? I've actually spoken to people who claim to be Christian, and I say the hypostatic union, and they go, "What's that?" What? Or the Trinity, and they kind of squirm. Well, that's kind of a Catholic. Yeah, we believe that. What? It's like the car. You've driven a car. You've had the experience of riding around in a car. Oh, it doesn't? But I read this manual that was put together. It's the same thing with the Protestants. These evangelicals. And I'm basically speaking about evangelicals. These independent churches that are quasi-Baptist, I guess. It's kind of hard to pin down. This is Yusef, and I'm going to compare the church to a car. So, if you have a car manual, and you've seen those, you can get them at auto parts stores, and you read it through, does that mean you've ever seen a car or you've been in a